If you invested in Hello Labs at the start of this year, you would currently be up around 47x. If you invested in Tenet, you would be up around 7x right now. And that's because these projects you could have bought at ICO and made massive gains on them. But that is not true for all ICO projects. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can avoid the pitfalls and how you can consistently make money buying ICOs. So if you want to make 5, maybe even 50x buying ICOs this year, then hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, if you subscribed, you know that I love a free tool out there, and I'm going to show you a number of free tools in this, but I'm also going to show you something very cool at the end of this video where you can buy in before even the ICO and make insane gains. So what do we need to avoid? Well, when a new project launches, it's not a guarantee that they're going to do really well. Because whilst Tenet and Hello One had phenomenal starts because they were really good projects, there's something else that's very important. Because this is Kryptonite, which also launched very recently and is a very cool and interesting project. And yet right now you can see it's down around 40% on launch. What on earth is going on? What is the difference between this one and the other two? Well, you might be forgiven for thinking that this project maybe isn't very good or they don't have a good following. If we come across to their Twitter, you can see Kryptonite has 123,000 followers. They're the official partner of SEI or SEI Network with a following of around 500,000 followers. And if you come over to the website, it looks super legit. They do loads of cool stuff in a trending niche, which is liquidity staking derivatives. Extremely interesting project. They've got a good team here, and you're like, well, it's a rug pull. Not a rug pull, guys, okay? It's a legit project that just didn't perhaps handle its pre-ICO that well. And first of all, we're going to come across to ICO drops. This is a website where you can see all of the raises going on right now. You've got active ICOs, initial coin offering, upcoming ICOs, very important to pay attention to and something you should be looking into, and ended ICOs. So Kryptonite, top of the list, is the one I just clicked, and that's the one that's down 45% today. And it's confusing because you could come through here and you can find out all that's been going on. Now, what you can see in green is the amount of money that people are trying to raise and the amount of money they have raised. For example, Octavia wants to raise 2.1 mil, has currently raised 1.26. Some projects you'll see have raised a lot of money, 10 million, and some of them will be even more than that. Well, what you're probably thinking is, who is this? Where does their money come from and all that? Before you even get the chance to buy a crypto project, it's highly likely that all of those crypto projects that you are hearing about on YouTube, etc., have already raised something in the region of 10 to maybe even $50 million, or in the likes of WorldCoin, you're talking like $200 million. Now that means that there is a lot of money going in before you've even got the chance to buy. And remember, I'm going to show you how you can become one of those players later on in the day. But right now, what you'll be aware of is that that is big money. Now, when big money buys into those projects, it's within their interest to sell as soon as possible. These new projects don't have necessarily many people flooding to come and buy them because they're new, they have a higher risk, and that's what kind of scares people off. So what they'll do, for example, if you're trying to sell tokens at the ICO, remember the initial launch, let's say $1 each, I might offer a prior investor to be able to buy those tokens at like 20 or 30 cents each, which means when it hits ICO, they are already up 4, 5, maybe 10, 20x. And that is where the biggest problem lies. Now, it's important to note we can see who has been investing what money into what, because a project that's got a good amount of fundraising usually stands to be potentially doing quite well. And what we can do is come across to DeFiLlama.com. I'm just going to show you more details on who's been raising money and how much money they've been raising. There's also this link, Airtable, which I'll share down below, where you can find out other companies that have also been raising money in terms of dates. Now, whilst not all of these projects will go to ICO, it's important to note that lots of these crypto projects are basically, the early stages of the likes of Solana and Polygon and whatever else that you could potentially have made like 4,000, 5,000% on just by buying early on. Now, if we know that this number here is kind of important, but not to be just taken as the be-all and end-all, what else can we go off? Well, first of all, I've talked about this before as well. We need to look at this number and identify whether this is a legit page, legit following, etc., And how we do that is just take literally the profile and we go across to twitterscore.io. And on twitterscore.io, you can put in the profile here. We got Kryptonite and you can see it's got a bad score. Whilst it's got 116 followers, you know, the followers and who's really following it, not really of any particular interest. And they're not really respected well by twitterscore.io. In contrast, we can take Tenet, which performed very well on its launch. And you can see Tenet up to 25 here. And this is Hello Labs, also a reasonable score. Not amazing by any means, you know, some of them will have much higher scores, but still pretty solid for a new project. But when new investors are coming in and investing in these projects, if it's a top quality project like Tenet, they will have certain rules in place for those pre-ICO investors. Now, what you can see looking at Tenet's website, basically, again, I've talked about this on the channel a while ago now, and if you invested when I talked about this on the channel, then you would also be up around 4 or 5x. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Tenet is a very high quality project based in the liquid staking derivatives area. I'm telling you to go invest in it right now. That's not really the point of this video. But once you see a project that you're interested in, for example, Tenet, we can dive in and have a look at a few different pieces. You will see any good project. I'll have a lot of information here on the docs, partners, and all this information. And what we're looking for is very specific. And this is the secret sauce behind it all. What we need to focus on is people who were buying before the ICO. The ICO, the initial coin offering, the first time that you and most other people have a chance to buy in. There was people buying before that, and the rules of which they were buying is the most important thing. And I'll explain why that is. Here is Tenet. You can see is currently priced at 12 cents. Down here, the Tenet private sale, which was before the ICO, the one that most people don't have access to, but I'm going to show you how to have access, was selling at 2 cents. And what happened is that everyone buying at 2 cents, currently at 12 cents, is sat 6x up. Now on the day it launched, Tenet went up to around 20 to 25 cents, I believe. So you could have been sat on a massive, massive gain. And all of those people who bought in there would just sell, wouldn't you? If you bought for like a fifth of the price that it launched at and you turned $100 into 500, or you turned $10,000 into 50,000, or in this case, with the companies like this, $1 million into $5 million, then you probably will just sell. And then what happens is everyone who's buying at ICO, who's provided that liquidity, just gets absolutely destroyed, okay? That's typically what happens to many people buying ICOs because they're not doing this. What we can see on CryptoRank.io is this. This is really, really important. And it's this. The lockup phase. 10% TGE, 3 months cliff, 4.5% linear monthly unlock. What the f does that mean? Well, guys, I'm here to explain it. Tenet did a really good job at launch because they had one, good investment, good team, all that stuff. All the stuff we need to have, right? But they have a 10% TGE. That means if you invested, let's say $1 million before the launch of this token, once the launch occurs, you only have access to 10% of your tokens. That's very good, okay? Because it means that you're not able to dump your whole $1 million or $10 million. You can only dump your 10%. Remember, your job really as a pre-ICO investor is to try and get out as soon as possible. And they're kept in by the rules. They didn't have a 3-month cliff. Again, confusing language. All that means, if I've already unlocked 10% on launch, after 3 months, I will start to get 4.5% linear monthly unlock. So every month going on from there, 4.5% of my tokens are unlocked and given back to me. Which means, I don't know the maths, but for quite a long time, maybe a year or 2 years, I'm getting my tokens unlocked and given back to me, which means I can't just keep dumping on the market, but it does mean that maybe it slows the rate of growth for that token. But I'm fine because I bought into Tenet at pre-ICO and I bought in for 2 cents and I am currently up massively on my Tenet because I bought in pre-ICO, whereas everyone buying ICO probably got screwed a bit. So how do you buy in pre-ICO like I did? Well, guys, luckily I can help you out with that. This is my Inner Circle Discord, which is linked down below in the description. It's just $9.99, comes with a 5-day free trial. Not only do I share my insights on the different charts and things I'm looking at every day, but we also now have access to pre-ICO projects. That means that you and other people can pool money together and access pre-ICO projects where you can act like one of these massive whales, and instead of having to put in $50,000 or $100,000, you can maybe put in a couple of $100, and our fund will invest on your behalf to be able to get in at those rates, and then you unlock the power of whale money without having to have it yourself, because we team you up together. And no one else out there is doing what we're doing. We've just raised for 3 incredible projects that there's no chance you'll have access to outside of this. So if you want to get into the Inner Circle Discord, get daily updates on trading signals, get access to this, which is pretty much worth way more than just $10 per month in my opinion, then make sure you lock it in, guys. I will be increasing the price on new members to this soon once we get into a bigger, busier part of the market. So make sure you lock in that $10 per month for life by getting into that right now. So once we understand that this is really important, then we're pretty much safe to go. So all we need to do to identify a new project that we might be interested in is this. We can come across to ICO drops, free website, guys. I'm not sponsored by anyone here that I've talked about, apart from my Discord, which obviously is mine and sponsored by myself. But effectively, you can see active ICOs coming up. So these are ones that are already in the process. Now, some of these you'll notice are trying to raise a lot of money and maybe have a long time left to go. Okay, so that's important to look at what's been going on. If they're raising over a very long period of time, maybe it's a little bit of a concern. If they have an upcoming ICO, and you can see that they are basically trying to raise and have already raised kind of a good portion of the amount of money they're trying to raise, like you can see Solidus AI Tech, don't know what that is, but you can see 6.4 million raised out of 8.6. They're already doing pretty well. You can go in and find out more information, and just click on some of these projects. You can find out more information about them. Now what we can see down below, I have more information on all of the token sales and different pieces here. I can go through all the screenshots where I might find information on the token unlocks stuff. If I want to go and buy an ICO, I would not touch any ICO, no matter how good it sounds or how good the team is or anything like that, unless I can see a good portion of tokens are locked up. Because I guarantee, otherwise you just become instant exit liquidity for all of the big money who just wants to take yours. Sad, it's unfortunate. Crypto is unregulated pretty much, and this makes people sad. But if you want to take advantage of being the unregulated side of crypto, then get into that Inner Circle Discord. If you have any questions or anything you don't understand about this, and maybe the Inner Circle Discord is out of your price range, then get into the free Telegram. It's linked down below in the description. You won't get access to these pre-ICO projects, but happy to discuss and answer questions in there. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.